Some Wellingtonians will be taking the long way home tonight after a massive slip closed one side of the main roads into the city. The slip came down on State Highway 1's Ngauranga Gorge just after midday. The road is entirely closed on its southern side. One of three northbound lanes is being closed to allow contractors to access the slip. This is a fairly fluid situation. I think it's changing even as we speak. NZTA's Regional Transport Systems Manager Mark Owen joins us now live. Are you there, Mark?
G'day, John.
G'day, nice to talk to you. I see, so all three southbound lanes, that's down the hill, are closed, right? They're still closed?
That's right.
How big was the slip? Did it come close to any cars that were on the gorge at the time?
I'm not sure exactly about how close it was to cars, but there's some quite spectacular footage that has appeared in the media showing just how significant it was. It wasn't huge in terms of volume, but certainly the height from which it came and the size of the rocks that came down, it certainly was a significant slip.
Right, so it's very good news that it didn't hit anyone, obviously, and you've closed all three lanes. Does that mean the debris is across all three lanes, or are you just working from the outside in?
It was across all three lanes initially,
yep.
And it even impacted upon the northbound lanes. I think there might have been some loose material, so we had to close those lanes as well, just to have that safety zone to make sure that there was no risk of people getting hurt.
Absolutely. What's the traffic like there now?
It's very congested right across the network, because you can imagine taking out three lanes, people are looking for alternative ways of getting to and from. A little bit quieter on the network today because of school holidays, but then obviously a lot busier because of the parade in town. So we know there's a lot of people who want to get to and from. So we just want to advise people that there is significant congestion right across the network, particularly on State Highway 58, which is sort of the alternative route between the Hutt Valley and Porirua.
That's the Haywards Hill, right? The old Haywards Hill Road, yeah?
Haywards Hill, that's right. Yep. And certainly on some of the local road, the parallel routes sort of running through Tawa, Johnsonville, very heavily congested. So we're just asking people if they could avoid travelling sort of over the next couple of hours, try and avoid the peak traffic, or look at using possibly passenger transport if that's a feasible option.
Okay, so at the moment, for people leaving town, so if you're heading up the Kapiti Coast towards Porirua or further north, what's available to you? There are two lanes of the gorge open to go up the hill and out of the city?
I believe they've just opened all lanes northbound, so that'll start to free up. But unfortunately, it is significantly congested right back to the city, so it's going to take some time for that to clear. And we certainly advise people, please don't rubberneck. Keep your eyes on the road, keep an eye on the car in front of you, because we want to sort of try and keep things moving and get things freed up as quickly as possible. But certainly southbound is still closed and will be closed overnight while we get a crane in there to do a more detailed assessment of...
Which presents a nightmare for people coming into town, right? If they're going to the airport or to the ferry terminal or just into the city, how are they, if they're coming down State Highway 1, once again from that sort of Kapiti Coast region, how do you recommend they get into the city if they absolutely have to get there?
They'll certainly need to look at alternative ways. So, I mean, obviously 58 is pretty congested at the moment, but as it frees up later into the evening, hopefully they can come down State Highway 1 and use State Highway 58 to get onto State Highway 2, or alternatively they can turn off, say, at Tawa and use the local road parallel network. But it is heavily congested at the moment, so they certainly need to allow a lot of extra time, particularly, say, if they're trying to get to the airport or somewhere important.
Are there resilience issues here that we should be worried about? This is our capital city. It is an earthquake-prone city, as we all know. Should the Ngauranga Gorge be capable of being blocked by a rock slip to this extent?
We're certainly aware of the resilience issues, and that's one of the things we're focusing on. Certainly after Kaikoura, we're having a look at our network again in terms of what we can do to make things safe. This was an unusual one because it sort of happened, on a fine day in Wellington. Just one of those things that happens, but it certainly sort of draws our attention to make sure that we can get in there and investigate and look at these high-risk areas and see what more we can do to make it even more resilient.
Mark Owen, who is NZTA's Regional Transport Systems Manager, joining us live from Wellington. We would love to hear from you if you are stuck in that traffic.